Hey guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. It's been a full 9 days since the last one, since Black Creek. I cannot believe it's been that long. It feels like an eternity. I will never do it again. I promise, it wasn't my fault. Just bad timing when I had stuff to do and I hadn't finished this build yet, so it kind of got delayed. I started this build, I think, on Friday. Yep, started it on Friday last week, and then I was busy Saturday, Sunday and Monday, and then when I came to finish it off on Tuesday, I was just like staring at the screen. So I gave myself that day to recover, and then we finished this off yesterday. So yeah, I'm so excited to be finally sharing this with you because it has actually been a long time in the making. This house is the house from the movie Practical Magic. The Owens family live here. I think it is a movie favorite of mine. I haven't watched it in years. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't watched it in years, but I've been wanting to make this house for a very, very long time. And then I think maybe a year or 2 years ago, I was about to make it, and then I discovered someone had done it CC free, and I was like, no, it looks amazing. I can't do it. No. So I stopped myself from doing it, and then I think there's been quite a few updates in the game since then, so it's kind of I would just like to say thank you whoever it was on the Black Creek video that counter argumented my no, I'm not doing the Practical Magic house. Someone did do a very good counter argument. I've got to say it was very convincing, because I said I couldn't do it anymore justice, and they were like, but the stairs just got added, and I was like, that is a very, very good point. So thank you to the person that commented that on Black Creek. That is the entire reason why I'm doing this today. So I'm gonna try and find that comment so that I can actually give that person credit. Where is this? It's so impossible to find these comments. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's I can filter this stuff. Can I search? Let's search for practical. Apply. I'm in YouTube now. Okay. Why does it say that nothing with Practical Magic I replied to? Oh, maybe it was Owens. Maybe they put the Owens. Let me search Owen. No, I swear it was on Black Creek. I can't find the thing I've searched. I can't find the comment, but yeah, thank you for your counter argument, and this is the reason why we now have this build. But yeah, very, very, very happy with the way this turned out. I've got to say, I wasn't fully convinced at this stage. You can see me making. I was not convinced by this house at all. Not using Felix's CC and having... Well, his CC would not have helped on this build at all. It's just not the style. But I was kind of got in the habit of using his CC, and I know that with his CC I can do all the detailing I want. It's going to be I can add as much detail as I want. It's not going to look boring. And when I finished the shape of this house, I was like, oh geez, it looks boring AF. Like, yeah, it's not cute, it's not pretty at all. So I just wasn't happy with it. So I was like, okay, what can I do to add the detailing? I was like, Peacemaker, why do you not make architectural details at this point? So yeah, I went around and I basically used corbels to add in details everywhere. So you'll see it in a bit, but I use corbels everywhere. There is also a very cute roofing trick, and I'm gonna show it to you on the tower, so I'll make sure to tell you about it when I get there. But basically there's 4 levels to this tower, plus then there's a 5th level at the top that has all windows around it and a roof on it. What I needed to do with this was to build the 4 levels Oh, here we are. So basically I was setting out where I was going to put my roofs. I discovered this technique on another build that I have actually never released because it's not got finished yet. But I needed to make a tower and keep the proportions correct on another build, and I discovered that if you put the roofs the wrong way around, they can make a lovely wall. You can raise those roofs. Those are just normal slope roofs. You can raise those roofs to as tall as you need them to be. Roofs go really, really super duper tall. And that allowed me to make the tower in the proportions I needed it to. And then later on, when I finished the entire build, I then went back and put in a roof. I've kept that piece of footage in to show you how it's done as well. Basically, you end up building a little tower to the side of your build, and you raise it up so that it's at the right height, and then you delete all the levels below that, and you drag your roof into place. The only workaround you have to do is, I put it in last because if you change any walls that are sitting below that roof, the roof will delete itself. That's the only problem that there is. So if you want to change around the roofs, you'll just need to move the tower roof. Just drag it to the side, literally drag it. You can't pick it up and move it. You have to pull it out using those arrows to size it. Pull it out of the way of the main house, and you can change whatever walls you need to. But yeah, that's the only thing. So that's why I'd left it to the last minute to add it all in. But yeah, it's worked out perfectly. I think I've done it before in a couple of other builds. Maybe I didn't highlight it so much. That was by, I think it's Kalino. They are a CC creator, and they are the person that did loads of wild animals. They did loads of different animals like tigers and everything. When cats and dogs came out, they did loads of exotic animals. That's where I first found out about them, and they are also a great builder, and they create CC as well. They were part of the team for the Tropical Getaway mod, and she made CC for that. So you probably have seen them around, but yeah, she did this tutorial and she figured out how to make a roof go at any level you want it to, which is way, way, way helpful. And this build would not look the same without it. The previous build by, I think they're called Adeline Sims. I think that's what their name is. And they put a chimney. They had repeated a chimney in a spiral to make the roof, which was a really cool idea because we didn't have this whole technique back then. We also didn't have any of these kind of advanced roof techniques, I don't think, 2 years ago. And yeah, they did a really good job. They did their own version. It was kind of like a back to front version of the house. I'm not too sure why they chose to do it. I think because they put it on a way smaller lot, by the way. They put it on a 30 by 40 on the island. I moved this to a 64 by 64, and yeah, it's just ginormous. What can I say? I wanted, in the movie, it is right on the coast, so I wanted to make sure that the build in the background you could see the water and everything. So this is actually placed on the lot back to front, so the front of the lot actually is the back of the house. I only did it like that because it just needs the water in the background. Also, the preview on the gallery for it is just awful. It's the back of the house where it's like, oh, there's just a few trees dotted around and it's covering up the back of the house. So apologies on the gallery, it looks awful. Of course, if you are here and you're going to download it from my Tumblr, brilliant screenshots. I took my time doing them. But of course, the gallery is kind of a shame when you spend, I don't know, 3 days on a build and then you put it up on the gallery and you discover that it looks like Frankenstein's bride. It's awful. Yeah, it's kind of disheartening. I wish we could pick what side of the lot we view the house from. At a minimum, I would like that, because we can do it with rooms. You can pick what angle you want to see the room from, so I don't get why we can't do that with lots. Also, sometimes The front of the lot on the gallery is not really the front of the lot. Like, I don't know. So I would love that. Considering, you know, how long it takes to do a build, it would be great if we could showcase our builds to the full potential would be the thing. Also, I think it breaks terms of service to update the gallery preview. I think there was a whole thing with people changing the preview on their gallery creations, and then apparently that broke the rules. And so I don't think anyone does it anymore. Mind you, I always see custom poses for CAS. I just don't see custom pictures for builds anymore. So I'm not too sure, but who knows? Yeah, so we're still doing the landscaping. Of course, this is on a 64 by 64 lot on Windenburg Island. I had to choose between this Windenburg Island and also Brindleton Bay. It would also look good in. I chose Windenburg Island just because it looked a little bit closer to the water, I think. I'm not too sure. Also, I think I prefer Windenburg Island to Brindleton Bay. Oh God, people are going to kill me for this. But Windenburg is my favorite world, so I'm going to pick it every time. I'm sorry. But also, if you don't have any space here in Windenburg, this would also fit perfectly into Brindleton Bay as well. The style of the house, everything would suit perfectly. I think Victorians look really good actually in Brindleton Bay. I've done a Victorian before in Brindleton Bay as well. So yeah, I just recommend it. You'll see me here there are loads of plants now on your screen because I went into debug and I was like, I am going to debug the hell out of this build. And I went through and basically like placed 20 of each item so that I had a whole kind of spectrum of plants to pick from. I had like these hanging plants as well to put around the porch. We're going to call it a porch. Yeah, I had loads of plants ready to go there. I thought there was different types of hanging plants, but I really didn't find any, or like kind of climbing plants. In the movie, there's loads of vines kind of working their way up the porch, spandrels and everything. So I wanted to try and do that, but unfortunately there's nothing in the game that looks like it, including in debug. Trust me, I spent ages going through debug. I cut all of that out. I didn't record it because it was that long. So yeah, lots of the plants are from debug. That would actually keep the price of the build down, believe it or not. So I suppose it's a good thing. Oh, here we are doing our little roof thing. I'm just putting it, guesstimating, eyeing it up to make sure it's at the right level. How is my Discord not on busy? I set it to it. Why is it not? Yeah, so I thought I'd done the wrong level to start off with, but I'd actually got the right level, so I did this roof 3 times. But yeah, of course this top section as well is a little bit bigger than I wanted it, but I couldn't get any smaller and have it still in the middle of this platform. Sometimes it's just, so sometimes I wish you could do kind of like a half wall, half width wall to fit it into the build, but you can't. So even with roofs, I still couldn't get the smaller size. So but yeah, I think it looks cute, and it's got this little like weather vane thingy on top and a different roof. Yeah, and that's it, completed. I did that at the end actually when I finished all of the interior, but I've just put that in there so that it makes sense. So the outside is completely finished. We have like a washing line and a washing wash bucket, I don't know what you call it, on the outside. You can see there through the window, and there's also a garage out there with like 2 cars in it and a woodworking station. I did also put a flower arranging station in the vegetable patch. It would have been great for me to put it in here, but I am a little bit dumb and I only remembered it at the end of the build, and I was like, this would be perfect for this build. Yeah, I didn't. So this room was already full, so I thought, where can I put it? And I put it out in the vegetable patch. At the end, I kind of had a second guess about the kind of skills and activities that were available in the house. So I added an easel on the front porch, I added in that flower arranging station in the vegetable patch. I also added in the woodworking station in the garage. There are outdoor bins, as you can see them. I'm so proud I remembered an outdoor bin in this build. There's also a kitchen bin. What can I say? Professional. And there is also a mailbox. I remembered a mailbox, so you won't get that random ugly basic it's not even a Willow Creek mailbox, is it? It's an Oasis Springs mailbox that's default. You won't get one of those being randomly placed inside your build, because I remembered the proper mailbox. I got a question on this shelf before, which I haven't actually answered yet. This red shelf is by Picture Mobe. Is it the OSMP shelf? I think that's what it's called. I can never remember the acronym. But basically it's a little special CC shelf that has lots of slots on it, larger than a regular shelf, I think. And you can put anything that's slottable. Some items in the game aren't slottable, like if they're these big plants, they're never meant to go on a tabletop, so they won't snap to that shelf. But for everything else that normally goes on a surface, you can put that shelf to the level you want it to, and then you can move the objects off onto a different surface. So that's how I did it with the counters, because the counter is a lot fuller than it normally would be if you just use the slots, and I wanted to get them at the perfect height so they weren't just floating around randomly. So yeah, that shelf basically allows me to get stuff at the perfect height when I use move objects, and so they're not floating. I can see floating stuff right now. I don't know what happened was I placed all this stuff and I didn't realize I had it at the level of the counters, which are a lot higher than the level of those console tables and end tables, so that's why they were floating. It's not the shelf's fault, it's my fault. I couldn't see it. But yeah, I've put loads of like fertilizer stuff around here. It's a general conservatory. It's a lot neater and prettier than the one in the movie. The one in the movie looks a bit disheveled. It's kind of a bit battered, kind of a bit old. But it's not really possible to do that so much in this build. And also, I don't know if you really want to live your Sims to live in such a battered place. I've tried to clutter it as much as possible, but still keep it kind of functional-ish. But really, this conservatory is just for looks. There's not really anything to do in this room, to be quite honest. That's why I would have loved to put the flower arranging thing in there. To be quite honest, you could probably delete that shelving unit and put the flower arranging thing in there, and then it would make the room more functional. So yeah. Onto the kitchen. The one in the movie has like these cream ochre coloured tiles. Unfortunately, we don't have any tiles like that in the game. Also don't have any CC that has that colour either. So we went with our subway tiles. They are subway tiles in the movie, but they have like paneling and beams in the movie in the kitchen. So yeah, we just had to kind of do some move object stuff to make it all work out. So I've built this little unit here. They have an auger in the what was I going to call it? In the movie, yeah. In the kitchen there's an auger and everything. So this is my attempt. This kind of looks like an auger. They have this stove in The Sims, and they also had like a surround around it. I wasn't able to do all of the surround bits, but I used the City Living beams there, not beams, room divider, and I kind of moved objects it to make it look like it was a solid wall, so that it had a surround around the stove, and then used a sized up shelf above it as well. Hopefully, I didn't test this actually, hopefully your Sims can use that oven. Hopefully the shelf hasn't blocked their path. I'm really sorry if it does. Yeah, thinking about it now, whoopsies. Let me know if it does block it. Maybe I'll update it on the gallery or something, but fingers crossed it all works. So the CC that I use in this build is pretty minimal, we're going to call it. I've used some of my own CC, so Heritage Collection. To be honest, I'm using that in every build for some reason. Heritage Collection. I had a recent 5k milestone over on Tumblr, and I released candles and plants. Those are also in this build, so you're going to need my 5k follower gift set. And also, I separated the picnic benches along, well, it's not that long ago. Was it earlier this year? Must have been earlier this year. I separated the picnic benches from their tables so that you can have some cool trendy bench seating mixed with normal chair seating on tables. And I've used that in the middle of the kitchen, you'll see in a little bit. You'll need Dine Out for those to work because they use the booth system, that whole thing that came with Dine Out. I just wish they had them separated. It would be nice if they could add that into base game. The picnic benches, some of them look really cute, but I would like it if I could not always have a bench around it, and if I could sometimes have chairs. They're at the perfect height, they're at the correct height for being a regular table, so it'd be nice if they added like that extra functionality in. For some reason, the team has an obsession with adding in picnic benches and we'll call it picnic tables. Yeah, they have an obsession with adding those things. I'm sure it's kind of a easy go-to object, I presume, to add into any kind of set, and they just have an obsession. Along with picnic benches, they have an obsession with toilets because we can't get enough toilets. So yeah, I would just please separate them so that I don't need my own CC anymore. Thank you. But I've also used Peacemaker in this, so it's only Peacemaker and my own CC. Peacemaker did an amazing cats and dogs add-on, windows, doors set. Also recolored all of the siding that came with cats and dogs. That is also in this kitchen on the left-hand side. That is not white, that's like an off-white, and I just needed an off-white. The white that came with the cats and dogs in-game siding was just too white, which, oh my god, I'm saying something was too white that the Sims team made. Oh, hold on, let's take a moment. Write this down in the calendar. It is October 3rd, which is Mean Girls Day, by the way. So, you know, monumental occasion. But yeah, I needed an off-white, so I used Peacemaker's planking there. Is it called Simple Plank? I can't remember. It's Planking by Peacemaker. But yeah, here we are doing this central little table that they have in the kitchen. I was going to do this table here, and then I realised I've made CC for this bit. So I put the bench there. I've sized down those stools, so your Sims will look very strange if you saw it and sit down there. Also, they can't sit down there and eat because that is not stool height. It's not, they'd have to sit on the bench, but they can sit on the bench side and eat there at the central table in the kitchen, or they can sit on the booth around the table there. I've just put in a few cushions as well from Peacemaker. That's, I think, what's essential for this build would probably be Peacemaker's Cats and Dogs add-on. Also the Vampire Pack, that's what I've used for the archers. His add-on set for that. I highly recommend all of his add-on sets. I think it just adds extra that I think really the Sims team could probably never add in themselves, because it would be too many objects in the game, to be quite honest, if they expanded the windows and doors as much as Peacemaker does, or as much as any creator does, or to its full potential, we're going to call it. I don't think they could ever implement that in the game, because it would just be too many items. I still do wish we had like a full set, or they could change the way that windows are placed. I would love it if you could pick between having it cut out a full tile or cut out 2 tiles. For example, you have a single window and they always have it on a, like, it only cuts out 1 square. I would love it if it was cutting out the middle of 2 squares. At the moment in the game, you can only assign 1 cutout per wall, which means you have to have multiples if you want to have different cutouts of a wall. I don't know why they can't have more than 1 cutout on 1 window. I don't know the technical things. Maybe next time, if I ever get the opportunity, I'll be like, why can't we have multiple cutouts on a single window? Because I want to place my windows where I want them, you know? Also, it would declutter the catalogue as well, because these add-on sets wouldn't, they would still be required because they change different proportions, but you wouldn't have to put 2 of the same window in to get the placement you want. So, yeah, that's my campaign, my 2020 campaign of get multiple cutouts for a window. Most of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about cutouts, but whatever. Anyway, we've moved on to the potion room here in the build. I definitely wanted to make sure that I put this in. It's in the movie. I'm not too sure if this is the same room where they did all of the spells, because I remember there being a cauldron. I've shrunk down a cauldron in this room and put it on the table, so it's not going to be functional, but it looks pretty cute. There are pretty minimal amounts of Realm of Magic content in this. You can see on the right hand side, that's a unit from Realm of Magic. I've also fully planted the vegetable garden with perfect vegetables and plants and everything. And I've also put in all of the new plants that came with Realm of Magic in the garden. They're pre-planted there, you just got to grow them. I think they should all be perfect. And of course I've cluttered this up with potions from Realm of Magic and just jars that came with Get to Work. So there are actually aliens in those jars. If you just squint and jump on one leg, they will look like they're just not aliens in a jar. Like they're just something else. But yeah, cluttered this up. Again, using that red shelf to get the positioning so that nothing is floating. And then covered up these apothecary cabinets actually came with vampires, which I actually think I prefer these just for this room because they all kind of join up together and they make one big cabinet. In the movie, they're kind of open glass cabinets, and unfortunately we don't have anything that would kind of look like that in the game. We have kitchen cabinets that have glass, but then they already have plates inside, so they kind of don't really give the effect that I was looking for. So we went with these apothecary cabinets instead, and I put loads of crystals in here. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and I ended up putting like a little bit of dirt on the floor and the walls as well. Those are the candles that came with my 5k follower gift set. I'm obsessed with them. They are simply a base game recolor. I got rid of the ugly, awful pattern on the set of 3 candles that they gave us. I think it was from the Day of Dead patch. Day of the Dead? Yeah, I think it was from that patch they gave us. Some candles, and they're really, really nice candles, but they have ridiculous patterns on everything. Wish we had a plain one. I got my old smudge tool out and got rid of the pattern, made them all perfect. So yeah, that's available on my Tumblr. And then we're on to the living room that was in this build. I found a website that basically has lots of houses that appear in movies, and they had as many photos as possible of all the different rooms. So I had photos of this living room. The dining room that I did, there was no photos of it. I don't think they showed it in the movie either, really. You can only ever see it in the distance. So I had photos of this living room. I had photos of the hallway and the stairs that go up in the hallway there. They are identical to the stairs that are in the movie. There's also stairs that go up from the side of the kitchen, which I had pictures of, and that goes up into the tower. And I have managed to put stairs all the way up the tower, which means that your Sims can actually go out onto the rooftop. But there's a door out there, so you can walk all the way up the tower and go out onto the roof. In the movie, they go out and they like fly down on umbrellas. I'm pretty sure it's umbrellas. They put their umbrellas up and then they fly down from the roof. Well, not fly down, they like float effortlessly down from the roof. So if your Sims have brooms, I'm pretty sure you can probably send them up there and they can fly. Still haven't done any spellcaster gameplay yet. Probably won't. Probably too busy building to get to use it. But yeah, so still haven't heard any more news on University. I want the pack so bad. I really didn't expect anything until the beginning of next year. I didn't think we were going to get anything more this year, considering they kind of listed out everything we were going to get this year. So when the whole University leak thing happened, I really wasn't expecting it. I just thought next year. So I'm hoping, praying. Well, it would be nice if it was this year. It's just putting it out there. I wouldn't mind it, but I've got to say I'm willing to wait. If they need more time to get University perfect, then I would say delay it. I remember they delayed the release of Get Together. Everyone was really skeptical about Get Together before it was released. It didn't really seem to make sense, this whole club system, but I've got to say it's one of my favourite expansion packs. Probably because Windenburg came with it, to be quite honest. But everything that got added into with Get Together is really, really useful. And they delayed the release of it to get it perfected. And I'm just like, yes, if you need to do that with University, it's fine. I can wait. I just have I suppose they might be slightly unrealistic, but very high expectations for University. And I really don't want to be disappointed. Talking of disappointment, are you guys on Twitter? Did you see the hashtag that was created this week, which was Stop EA Abuse, which made me actually giggle. I've got to say, the person that made it, I don't think English is their first language, so maybe they're not getting the severity of the word abuse, but they just wanted to do a hashtag with kind of to tell EA what they're doing wrong, which I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing wrong right now, but they were trying to make enough noise so that EA would change something, which I don't know if I agree with that one. Actually, no. Well, I definitely don't agree with the Stop EA Abuse hashtag. I'm like, there's abuse and then there's abuse. This is not abuse. Everyone has the choice of whether or not they want to buy and invest their own hard-earned money into the game. If there are so many reviews, I do reviews of stuff. I tell you my honest opinion, like Realm of Magic, I would say buy it when it's on sale, unless you're really, really into witches and you want it straight away. That's what I would say. If you're a completist, I'm a completist. I like to have every single thing, just even if it's only one object from a pack that I'm going to use, I normally think it's worth the money, to be quite honest. Like I have the Spooky Day pack, never used a single item from it, never done a single spooky build using spooky stuff apart from the floors. The floors are gorgeous. I had them in this house and I took them out because I was like, do you know what? How many people have Spooky Day? How many? I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do base game floors instead. So I got rid of that, but I barely ever. I don't think I've used a single item from Spooky Day, but I just wanted it for the floors. I think I watched a Hatsy build many, many years ago when Spooky Day came out. I didn't buy it. And then there was this amazing floor in one of her builds, and I was like, oh, that floor. And it was from Spooky Day, and that was enough to convince me to buy the pack. I just wanted the floor. So yeah, if you're a completist, I would say definitely Realm of Magic get it on sale. It's not something that you need to rush out and spend your last pennies on. So yeah, there are plenty of reviews here on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Tumblr, for people to make their mind up before they buy something. It's not like people need to buy the game now in order to find out whether or not they're gonna like it. They can kind of get that impression before they have to invest their own money. So this whole abuse tag thing is just, yeah, no, just no. But you're more than welcome to tag gurus and give feedback. They welcome feedback. It's just when you're just randomly shouting demands at them, that's the problem. That I think if you randomly shout demands at people, their automatic reaction is not to listen, which I've got to say, I was going to do a public service announcement on this video. I've had a few people coming to the channel, which I've had some lovely comments from people, but there's just a few people that kind of ruin it, and they come to the channel and they're like demanding I do certain things, which I've just got to say no to all of the above. And when someone demands something from me and isn't really polite, it just automatically makes me not want to do it. So yeah, I've got to say politeness goes a long way. I always reply to all of your comments. If I don't have some gem to add, then I will at least make sure I acknowledge every single comment you leave and leave a heart on it. So yeah, just no demands, please. Your suggestions are always welcome, but some people just take it that little bit too far and just like, you need to do this, and I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. Thank you and goodbye. So yeah, but I've got to say as well, to counteract that, I have got some lovely messages, mostly comments, yes, but lovely messages on Instagram as well. So thank you very much for taking time out of your day to leave a comment, or give me any kind of positive feedback. I've got to say it's most appreciated. Hopefully I'll just hold on to those rather than the negative ones. My favorite negative comment, they may think they were doing me a favor, but on the Waddesdon Manor, someone said, amazing build, but your terrain painting skills need some work. And I thought, you know what? Thanks for keeping me humble. I've got to say, there's one thing I don't think I need help on. It's terrain paints. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Screenshots available on Tumblr, available on the gallery. All CC linked, every single piece. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye, guys.